Well, hello and welcome. Yeah, I'm just come up and I wanted to say hello to you. I've reinstated my old camera, which means the picture looks a bit different, a bit clearer. Oh no, you're going to see me better. I don't know whether that's a good thing or not. I apologize for the mattress behind me. I've just going to move the green screen over a little bit. That way is my doorway, and you can see into the passage and the bathroom. That's Darth Vader. He's been turned into a towel holder. It's a completely different picture to what I had before. I wanted to show you what I've been doing. I've been making some. So I teach students, and it's funny how it's really hard to see. It's funny how it's picking up. I got to switch off the virtual, but this is an Easter basket, and in there is some eggs. And oh look, my background comes onto that. So that is what I have been up to. I've got a few more to make in that. Well, interesting you should say that, Terry, because court has been delayed. So you would remember that 7M's lawyer stated that she would like to have the date changed because of the fact that she had to attend a funeral. So if we actually have a look now at here, it says it's on the 11th of the 4th. Okay, now there is a judicial determination that's been made, and let's have a look at this. So it says, per law clerk's discussion with attorneys, court will continue to a new date to allow the in-person hearing, and it's been signed by the judge. And she's done that on top of the letter that was submitted by Amber, because it said that there was she had a funeral that she would like to attend, that she needed to attend, and it was at the same time as court. And so so it has been changed to the 11th of April. So that is just that's that update. Okay, so it was to do with 7M's team, not KJ's team. I just want to make that very clear. It was 7M's team that was that asked for this, and considering that KJ's team was late filing defense and everything, can't come soon enough, hopefully. Well, it's very, very interesting. I mean, there has been such a spiral. I mean, I don't really want to be making it all about her, but let's have a look at her Instagram, because it's something to behold, to be honest with you. So, like, we stopped all the way back here. She's posted a cat, and then apparently, hi Barbara, she went on about St. Patrick's Day. Apparently, according to KJ, St. Patrick is a Catholic saint, and he's celebrated by the Catholic Church, which I, being non-Catholic, always thought that St. Patrick had to do with Irish Protestants, but apparently everybody that says that's wrong. So then she's still on about Garrison, and then still on about Sister Wives. So she's still on that train, unfortunately. So I did actually look into St. Patrick's Day, and as I said, but my feeling was it was about Irish people. That's why everyone dresses up in green and leprechauns and everything. But she's turned it into something Catholic that she won't celebrate because of her Catholic trauma. So this is what she says. Some people, and in case you're interested, I've actually swapped my computers around. So my camera is actually on my screen. I've moved my laptop to the right. So now I've got a nice clear camera, and I can actually read from this. I can read what you're reading as well now. So some people who don't grow up Catholic don't often understand that St. Patrick's Day is not just about green beer or food. The day is celebrating the St. Patrick. That was the saint of Ireland. Snakes and engineers. Catholics pray for Patrick for his intercession in their lives. Now, as I said, I thought St. Patrick was the saint was just a nickname type thing. I didn't realize. As I said, I'm happy to be wrong because I don't really know much about it. But I didn't think that they did do that. But anyway, not being Catholic, I'm not really quite sure. I grew up Catholic. All right, Christine. So that's not right. So not being a Catholic, I don't know. But look, I thought, as I said, I thought it was more to do with Ireland than anything. So she says true believers are indoctrinated. Say that praying to a saint is like praying to a friend. Many will refer to this as asking a friend to send a message to God for you. The Catholic Church places a lot of barriers between members and God. Saints are folklore of the Church. They were real people, but the Church designates them as martyrs of their faith. We are taught to model our lives around saints for their virtuous, humble, and heroic dedication to faith. Saints are made up a product of the Church that has a hierarchy in place that determines the afterlife, determine the future of the members' souls in their afterlife. True believers are indoctrinated to believe that Catholic hierarchy is in place to keep us safe and provide us holy guidance. When you leave the Church, you realize the hierarchy is in place to protect the Church, their money, reputation, and control members through fear of damnation. Many of my followers asked me to share my own experience in the Catholic Church. My challenge has always been that the Church is large, extremely powerful, and true believers will diminish and discard the facts shared about the Church due to their indoctrination. How many times can you say indoctrination? Catholicism damaged not only my life, but my entire extended family on my mum's side. Leaving Catholicism contributed to a loss of my self-identity, self-esteem, and my ability to trust. Learning the most of what I was taught in church was nothing more than lies to control me, rocked my foundation. Part of lean Catholicism includes not celebrating holidays of the church. I won't celebrate a church holiday when the church damaged and abused my spirit and soul, she says. And of course, there were comments, but they've all been switched off and deleted, by the way, just in case you're wondering. There's no comments on that page anymore. There were, there's none anymore. So you cannot comment on that. And it was edited 3 days ago. You can see that. So she's out again defending Gypsy. She posted on Savannah's she posted on Savannah Brown's page, and I believe she's since deleted it. You know, some of the family members are now sharing their experience, and she's all over it. Then she's talking about sister wives. Apparently, I should have put a trigger here. Now, the person that wrote the post was a mental health nurse and came out and was talking about things to watch out for and that. And now she's saying it's Irish folklore. I went to private schools run by nuns and I never experienced any of that. See, I thought it was folklore too. So I don't know where all of this is coming from, Christine. And that's the thing but the thing is, people eat it up. Whatever she says is believed, and that, I think, the thing that concerns me the most, to be fair. But people were saying to her, you know, that's not true, that's not true, that's not true, and she was saying, no, you're wrong, you're wrong, right, you're wrong. Hi, Nikki, how are you? Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing, he was born in Scots. I'm just having a look here. Um, he was born. Yeah, he's like, it's a patron. He became a patron saint. Hello, mummy. How are you? Um, but he was actually Christian. He was a Protestant, and from what I can work out, and a Christian missionary. So this is from World History. So we're just pulling up World History. Um, really want to get technical. We're all saints. You know. So this is what he celebrated. He apparently, with expanding literacy in Ireland. It'd be a good thing, isn't it? He was a Roman citizen of Britain. And became ordained as a bishop and returned to the land of his captivity as a missionary. He was not the first Christian missionary, but the most famous. His influence on the law and culture of Ireland was enormous, and as he championed the causes of women, the poor, the slaves, while conferring with kings and nobles. His death is celebrated on March 17, but the year he died, as with the year of his birth, is unknown. He's one of the 3 patron saints of Ireland, along with St. Bridget and St. Columbia. Hey, he championed he championed causes of women. Isn't that something to celebrate? Isn't that something to celebrate, that he actually was against all the stuff? Um, so it looks like he was a shepherd, and then he escaped. So in Ireland, St. Patrick would change the lives and future of the people he once walked among as a slave. Wow. Since KJ hates, well, that's right. It sounds like um it sounds like he when he arrived in Ireland, he was hardly welcomed. He writes how when he landed, the people were so hostile to him, he quickly moved north. He knew the language of the Irish from his years in captivity, and he knew their beliefs. So what he did is he converted a lot of Ireland to Christianity, not Catholicism. And the Shamrock became famous because he was explaining the Trinity. See? But they're saying that, did it happen? Did it not happen? But what was really interesting was he walked with the poor people and championed their causes, while being able to navigate through the world of royalty and the upper class. He founded the Celtic Church. It says there, the Celtic Church he founded, like that of the missionary Columbus in Scotland after him, differed in a number of ways from the Church of Rome, most notably in its inclusion of women in the church hierarchy, the dating of Easter, tonsure of marks, and the liturgy. Scholars are divided how significant these differences really were, but most now reject the claim that the Celtic Church was very different in vision than Roman Catholic. He changed the lives and futures of the people he once walked among. So there may have been differences, but definitely he was different. I mean, to have women in leadership roles in the church is still a big divide in many denominations. But very interesting. So apparently Donald Trump doesn't like the Australian ambassador to the US. Apparently he's taken a dislike to him, which I find to be hilarious. So, but anyway, that's where we get to St. Patrick. But everything what she's written about him does not seem to be who he was and what he represented. By the sounds of it, no wonder he was influential in Ireland. And people did ask her whether she celebrated Christmas, and she said, no, we celebrate Yule. Apparently they don't do Easter. So, but from what from everything that I'm reading about St. Patrick, a bit like Saint Nicholas, he's not really a saint, He was very influential, and he was just as comfortable, with the paupers as he was with the rich. So very interesting. St. Patrick says the only day I get to drink my alcohol. Yeah, well, true. So I don't drink, so it's no good for me. She's always drinking, says Mummy. It's true. And the other thing that she shared, but she deleted, she shared a photo of V out with a friend, which I thought was interesting. She covered up the faces and wanted to show that they took him out. But I don't really want to talk about that. But it's interesting that picture was now deleted. I wonder whether the mother wasn't very happy of her son being put onto social media. There are very strict rules about posting pictures of minors. I mean, even schools nowadays have to have authority to post pictures on their social media account of children. You have to have signed consent. And if a child does not have consent, you have to cover their face. It's a rule. And there are strict rules in place, particularly in Australia. We can only do it in private groups by invitation only. I can't put any of my group members or my students on my private page. I have to have a special Facebook page that's a closed group for participants or parents only, and we actually have to sign consent. And if I don't have consent of the parents, I can't put it on that page. So the page that I have for my band is invitation only, and it's only for the parents. And it's the same with a lot of the social media accounts. Schools are slightly different, but again, every parent has consent. I don't post my own children on my social media says, Mummy. Well, that's very wise. Home media wasn't around when my kids were little, because it was when I was when my kids were little. I mean, we didn't have iPads to entertain kids either. They had to use books or find their own entertainment. That was always interesting. But I think the whole thing about the St. Patrick's Day post was that she was arguing with everybody, and she closed it down to stop being about, to stop it, any comments. And I found that to be very, very bizarre. Because why? But I wanted to show you something funny, because she's got family V logo, be controversial. They are, and again, do the kids have the consent? I mean, you look at all the pictures she's posted of her son recently. Is there consent there? And how's he going to feel when he reads all about himself? Okay, I want to show you something, because that we've got this hacked. She's got this hacked page now. About the time she started going against the started going on about the AUB and everything like that. This is what her hack, and I say hacked, 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 because I really doubt it. But this is what her other page has been showing, and it's quite hilarious. For the last few days, they have been sharing some very interesting stuff, and they should the page, I love the Book of Mormon. Now, is that coincidental that while she's going off about the AUB and the Mormon church and everything, that all these videos, there's a lot of these videos that's a day ago, are sharing posts from I Love the Book of Mormon. Look at that. Now, is somebody watching what she's posting and trolling her, or is it planned? See, I Love the Book of Mormon, again, a day ago. And then there's all this other stuff. I Love the Book of Mormon. The bathroom of a house built in 1933. Look at that bathroom. That was a day ago. 9 hours. This one's 9 hours ago. And then people are still writing hacked. 18 hours ago. 19 hours ago. All from this I Love the Book of Mormon. This is what's got me fascinated, and I'm finding really, really bizarre, because, that's my, Facebook page now. Oh, I don't care. Who cares? To be honest, because I stopped paying attention. I find it very, very interesting that that there's posts going back for days and days and days from this site, I Love the Book of Mormon. And why? Hey, Bo. That's why I'm saying I've got some issues with it being hacked. I'll pull it back up. And still got 131,000 followers. It's not lost its following. Why? And why has she stopped talking about it? I still think she's behind. My theory, I have no proof, is that she's still behind it. She's still behind it. She's still, if she was truly hacked. Christine, that would be my understanding. But she did say at some point that the monetization had gone back to her. So if she's getting money from it, why on earth is she not going to complain about it? So this was, again, without a crystal ball. It says it's responsible for this page. I don't believe it. No, I don't believe it was hacked either. I don't believe it was hacked either. But as I said, we go back for days and days and days, back to around the time of Garrison and in his life, and she started her attacks on the Mormons and the LDS. We have got all of this. I love the Book of Mormon. Either that, or she's she could be a closeted Mormon, and not a more. So someone, and here, look, 20 hours ago. Good morning, my friends and family. It's Saturday. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. May the luck of the Irish be with you. and yet on her other page, she's gone berserk on St. Patrick's Day. So 20 hours ago. You see how it's bizarre? It is so bizarre. 22 hours ago. All from I Love the Book of Mormon. 23 hours ago. It all goes back. And it's still got 131,000 subscribers. She hasn't lost it. There's no lost subscribers here. A day ago. That's nothing that she would say. A day ago. And people are interacting. Look at this. Look at this stuff. And then someone says, it looks like her page was hacked by the Mormons, and says, indeed, that won't end well, much like it didn't end well for Joseph Smith. So why hasn't this page has been hijacked by someone else? Why hasn't she called out this page lately? A day ago. You need to get a life and stop wasting time. Some of the replies on here are great because people still are interacting with this, even though they're saying this page was hacked. It's very easy to unfollow a page if it's not your cup of tea. Maybe you're the one who needs to get a life instead. I'm not following this nonsense. Keeps attacking me relentlessly. It's because you're engaging content even now. Hello, short order cook. So, it's hilarious actually that her page is sharing all of this her hacked page is sharing all this religious stuff that she doesn't like. So, and then we go to her other page. Yeah. So look, it says there's 131,000 followers on this hacked page. 131,000 followers. Then we go to this page. She's only got 18. She's only got 18,000. 18,000. As opposed to 131,000 on a hacked page. You know, it's why isn't she? And someone says, so some people have actually started to call her out. Why don't you find something with your family? How dare you talk about? Oh yeah, that's right. They're attacking Maddie for talking about her brother. Someone's talking about the fact that she's using clickbait headlines. She's called out people there. It is weird, Christine. It is. I find it really, really bizarre, and yet she has actually deleted a whole pile of stuff as well. So she's deleted the this was with when Cody went out for dinner. How dare he goes out? She deleted the St. Patrick's Day post, I think, from her social media. Well, from most of her from her Facebook page, because she got a lot of hate on there. Yeah, so but we saw it on her Instagram page. But it's just funny that on her Instagram page, on her Instagram page 2 days ago, she posted this, and and on her hacked page, let's go back to it. We'll go back to the St. Pat's post. Well, that's right. Why isn't she making a great big song and dance about the fact that they're all jumping on the hacked page? She has to be. There has to be. I mean, I wish we could really find a way that we could get in and dig deep into how we find this in. And then, so she's got that 2 days ago on her Instagram. Then she has this 20 hours ago on her hacked page. So let's go back. This. And this. Talk about a contradiction, hey? All right, let's go. Let's have a look. What I look at. It's quite interesting, isn't it, when we start looking at it, and it's deleted from her main page. So when we look at the About page, it goes to all her pages. And then here's a whole pile of her videos. But see, she's getting great views on it too. 92,000 views. That's better than on her Facebook page. Better than her YouTube channel 5 weeks ago. 17,000. 7,000. Her views are good. So let's look at page transparency here. So it says it's not running ads at the moment, which I find to be interesting. So it looks like it's not actually monetized, but it says there also that it's managed by Without a Crystal Ball LLC, and there's her. It looks like the hack page is monetized. Yes. Now it says primary regions for people who manage this page. There's 2 in the UK and 1 in Russia. So we then get to the question is too, because this is her correct details. The people who manage the page are off-site. So here's another question for you, and I'm throwing it totally out. This is pure speculation because we know that she's the queen of speculation. Could she be paying somebody in one of those areas to run the page? She says she's not, but could she? Or is she using a VPN to access it from somewhere else? Well, she's saying, Christine, she posted that she managed to get her monetization back on that page. Look, here, like here she was getting 3 years ago 4.7 thousand views, 6.9, and 22,000 views, but she's getting 92,000 views here, 17,000, 11,000, 521,000 views, 564,000 views 5 weeks ago. She's getting better views now than what she was with her normal contact. Well, that is the question, Short Order Cook. I would have thought no. But then why hasn't she been working harder to get it taken down unless she's benefiting from it? These views are amazing. 202,000 views. They're better than her YouTube channel. She's saying, Christine, she can't access the page through her through her business suite. And I was pointing out that if she was hacked via her Meta business suite, the likelihood of her not being able to access any, like her Instagram, was also made sense, because I've done a walkthrough of how it showed how Meta works, how it all works. So yeah, look, none of it makes any sense to me. And her unhacked page only has 18,000 views, and her video, and she's not getting the views that this page is getting. This is why it doesn't make sense. And she's gone quiet about it. She's not talked about it. But in her discovery, she actually has to give, I mean, technically, in discovery, she's supposed to name what pages she has authority over and what she runs. It'd be very interesting to see whether this is actually on there, because if it's not on there, then the question would be, why not? But why would you, if this was hacked, I mean, unless she's making money from it, I cannot for the life of me see why she's not jumping up and down about it. There has to be some benefit to her, because she's saying Meta's not been very helpful, but other people whose pages have been hacked have had no problem getting theirs taken down. Yes. Yes, we can look at Playboard. I don't know if there's one for, unless there is, I don't know if there's one for Facebook, but Short Order says yes, unless you lease the page. Something she has to have some autonomy over. I mean, I've got this one here. This is called, I'm using Playboard at the moment. You can use Social Blade. Playboard is very interesting because Playboard actually can show us the ones that she's deleted as well, and they all appear there. Now, what's been really interesting is that we've actually seen a growth, and this is since Garrison, unfortunately. See, 62,000 views, 75,000, 75. Her views have started to tank again because I think people are just sick of it. 199, 224,000. 198, 999, 224, 37,000. No, we can find out what she approximately got each. I think it shows what she approximately got each day. Is a deleted video. So that's the benefit of using Playboard as opposed to others, because we can actually see what's been deleted. 10 posts a day. I think someone's counted there's been 18 videos or 9 or 2 videos a day since. And it's just been horrible. Okay, so let's have a look here. No, we want to look at, we can look at views. See the views have been interesting. Yes, correct, Christine. Growth from exploiting the tragedy. Correct. So we can see, I thought, yeah, but we can go have a look at Social Blade as well. But see, her total views have gone down a lot. See, she was getting 41,000, then she jumped up into 100,000, 300,000 views, 400,000 views, 224,000 views, and now she's dropped back up to under the 100 mark again. So she had some really big views there for a while. And that was just, yeah, and that's from Friday. So we want to, let's look at let's see if we can get it from the week. Let's do it for the past 7 days. All right, let's do it for the past 7 days. There we go. Apply, and look at this. Yeah, look at that. It's the past 7 days. Her total views. So if we go, and then if we look at the past 30 days, look, suddenly we had a big jump. And I think there's been a big jump in subscribers as well. Look at that. So she got 1,000 on the 9th of the 3rd, and then on the 14th of the 3rd, there's another 1,000 there. So it's 2. Then there's another 1,000 on the 3rd of the 3rd. So she's had 3,000 subscribers just in March alone, since the 1st of March. So yes, it could work. Social Blade. Yes, I'll put in Social Blade now and see what we can get for. There's no way to convince me she doesn't buy subs. Says, hello, Gigi. What happened 30 days ago? Well, she wasn't doing very much, and that's the problem. And it is nearly payday again for YouTube. So she will have had a big thing last month, and she would have been a little bit lower, smaller. All right, let me just pull this in. Just, for some reason, this has jumped here. So let's have a look here. I just need to make this smaller. All right, so let's go to here. All right, here we go. Oh, it doesn't show all the way for some reason. Just trying to get it to all fit in to the screen. So here we go. The approximate views here. Anywhere between $62 to $1,000 for those videos. Let's have a look. I'm just trying to get this to work better, to fit in the screen. Yeah. Ah, that's what it's zoomed in at 100. All right, let's make this 100. There we go. That's better. Okay, so this shows you another one. So from the 7th of the 3rd, so you can see her views there. And in the last 30 days, approximately, she's had, and her approximate income will be anywhere between 1.4 to 22,000. Remember, so she's averaging about $750 a day at the moment with those views. You can see here, so this is subscribers, this is total views, this is increase, whether it's an increase of daily and then total views, and then the revenue. So yes, so that's where we are. Let's see full monthly statistics. All right, so here we go. So from the 4 months, so here we go. Is the first of so she didn't post any videos Wednesday. She didn't do any Monday. She didn't do any Wednesday. She hasn't done any. Oh, that's Wednesday because it's Thursday here. It says according to this, her last video was Savannah. So there we go. Just on a side note, the judge, or the decision from the judge on the defamation case between Bruce Lumen, Channel 9 and Channel 10 and Lisa Wilkinson is set down to be heard on the 4th of April. He's going to, hi mummy, the judge is going to make his decision. Now that's going to be interesting because it's there's the public interest defence at play there, and he's got a criminal trial happening in Queensland at the moment for another allegation. And but it's definitely going to be interesting. So she wants sister wives axed. And my question is, what will she do if she gets her way? Every episode has to be they are manipulating the rating system by purposely admitting facts, she says. Cancel this show. I'm sorry, but you do not but you do not make money on a child's emotional trauma and death. How about they shouldn't make But see, your dog hates her voice. Can you see how she always brings back, someone says, well, you shouldn't be making money, and she goes, but they shouldn't be making money. So her whole premise is that if they're making money, she should be allowed to make money, and she's used her favorite sentence. Trafficking. She's not learned anything from the 7M case that you just don't throw that word around. In fact, talking about trafficking, it is the most prevalent. We're at a time where it's the most prevalent in the world at the moment, by the way. Most prevalent. You're right, she does nothing but deflect. I was just reading a report the other day about it, and it was pretty worrying. And guess what? It's not necessarily it's not where she thinks it's most prevalent. It's very high in the US though, and so same for child marriage. Actually, it's very high. I wonder how many people. Well, that is true. So I'm just going to pull this up. I mean, let's just do a little bit of a fact finding. So this is from the United Nations. 100. So they've just done a report on it. 79% is exploitation, predominantly women and girls. The second is forced labour, 18%. 20% are children. And in some parts of Africa and Mekong region, children are the majority. And there's also interregional and domestic as well. Well, Christine, that's a very good point, isn't it? So here's the report, and they've looked at the country profiles here. So percentage of victims from other regions. So here's the countries covered by the report, and then percentage of. So let's pull up the full report. I think child marriage is also up, which is really horrifying. And unfortunately, that's very high in the religion she won't talk about. And again, this is everything that I've been reading. So everything that I'm reading here is what I'm seeing. Just stop that for a moment. I think it's the thing that sort of bothers me at the moment about it is that she just bandies the word around as if it's, really normal. All right, I have to get onto chores too in a minute. This is my only day off, so I have to just sort of do that, and I've still got. Apparently, though, about 57,000 minors in between 15 and 17 are married. So this was in 2021, and you're right. It depends on the state. Well, I thought that they left the AUB. Oops. No, that's not what I wanted. I thought they were no longer with the AUB. And remember, Garrison had changed to the LDS church. So I thought that was. Wanted this one. 2021 report. Look, I have to admit, my grandma was 17 when she got married. Again, it was a different time. It was a different time then. You know, you always have to take into account the time. But today, there's no reason for it. So this is a 2021 report on child marriage in the US. And it was written in 2022. So here's the report, and they've taken it by state by state. So this is saying 650 women and girls today alive today were married before they turned 18. For males, the studying data from 82 countries found that approximately 1 in 30 boys are married as children. What I'm going to do is I will post the link in here. So you can read it for yourself, because I like to be transparent and I like to show you where I got to get my data from. Hopefully that works. Oh no, that's not it. Oops, that's not it. I'll have to delete that. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's going to take you to. Read that at your own risk, hey? I don't know that that's going to do it. Right, what I'll do is after this, I'll post the link. I've got to go back. So in the United States, child marriage is a persuasive issue. Between 2000 and 2018, almost 300,000 children were married in the United States, an average of 45 child marriages per day. Of those ages, approximately 60,000 occurred at an age. Late to the chat, just listen, I have a headache. I'm sorry to hear that, Sarah. Should have been considered a crime. A 2021 study analysing marriage certificates from all 50 states found that approximately 86% of the underage marriages involved girls and 14% involved boys. Apparently, it's very widespread in the US. So it talks about the consequences there. International stuff here. So that's the most countries have some form of exemption to the legal minimum age. I mean, Australia does too. Missouri has historically been one of such, with evidence of individuals crossing state lines to marry 15-year-old brides. Some travel to Missouri as far off as Oregon, Idaho, Utah, and Florida. Two of the most persuasive exemptions to the marriage are parental consent and judicial approval. The majority of states facilitate marriages for children aged 16 to 18 based on parental consent alone. That's scary, isn't it? Parental consent exceptions pose one of the greatest concerns with respect to forced marriages, since parental consent can so easily equal parental coercion. Yet consent by at least one parent is often enough to acquire a marriage license for a child. Even where parental consent alone is not enough to authorize a child marriage, it often drives the outcome in judicial approval process instead of the minor's own wishes. That's scary too, isn't it? For instance, if a state's age floor is codified at 18, but judicial scrutiny is only triggered for marriages involving 15-year-olds, then most marriages for 16 and 17-year-olds will be approved quite easily. The only age floor that is actually enforced is set at 15. So do we need to change the minimum age of marriage? Only 17 states strictly require official proof of age for all marriage applicants. 17 states. So which means that you could lie. Since 2000, Alabama has had the 9th highest number of child marriages in the nation. Between 2000 and 2018, Alabama permitted approximately 9,166 child marriages, including marriages of a 14-year-old girl to a 74-year-old man. While Alabama raised the minimum marriage age from 14 to 16 in 2003, child marriages still account for almost 5% of marriages in the state. In Alabama, a child under 16 cannot enter into a marriage under any circumstances, including pregnancy. 16 and 17-year-old minors are permitted to marry with the consent of a parent or guardian. However, Alabama marriage clerks do not always require official proof of age, and clerks may also issue marriage licenses to minors from out of state. Overall, on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is the worst and 5 is the best, with the average score of 2.62 across all 50 states of the United States territory, Alabama is rated 2. Alaska permits a child to marriage at 16 or 17 with parental consent. Children as young as 14 may marry if a judge determines the marriage to be in the best interests of the minor and parental consent. However, judges approving these marriages are not required to have special knowledge of family law or juvenile. So again, Alaska ranks as a 2. Arizona uplifted its child marriage laws in 2018, now completely bans marriage below the age of 16. The law does permit 16 and 17-year-olds to marry, but only if they are emancipated or have parental consent. Arizona law also requires there be an age difference of no more than 3 years between the intended spouses if one party is a minor. Nevertheless, official proof of age and residency are not always required. So Arizona sort of has gone some way. I think they need to make sure that it is that they should you need to show proof of age. In Australia, to get married, you actually have to show your birth. You actually have to show birth certificates, divorce certificates. Hello, Angela. Identification. And you actually have to get signed. You actually have to apply for 30 days. You just can't turn up one day and say we're going to get married. You actually have to apply for it. And you've got to give 30 days notice of the fact that you're intending to do it. So, yeah, but you have to actually show you need to be able to show that you have you're able to marry. California realized the second highest number of child between 2000 and 2018, that the second highest of child marriages in the country with 23,588. So there was a legislation that was drafted in 2018. It passed and went into effect on January 1, but the laws still allow any person under the age of 18 to marry with a court order and consent of one parent. To obtain the court order, both parties must undergo interviews by family court services and in some cases attend premarital counselling. The court is also required to consider where there is evidence of coercion or undue influence on the minor. Nevertheless, California law permits children to marry as young as 0 and does not require proof of their age. Isn't that? So that's a 1. What is it? 1 being the worst and 5 the best. So they've gone some way, California, Colorado. Colorado's ranked 4. Colorado law was revised in 2021 to obligate 16 and 17-year-olds to procure judicial approval. The judge ruling on marriage involving minors must reside in juvenile court and is required to consider the underage party's request, best interests, and ability to manage his or her own affairs and responsibilities of marriage. All persons applying for marriage licenses in Colorado must provide official proof of age. That's a really good one. Connecticut, again, the legal age of marriage is 18. However, minors 16 and over can be married with parental consent and the authorization of a probate judge. It's one of several states with unwaivable residency requirement but does not require proof of age. Delaware banned child marriage without exception, becoming the first state to do so. However, Delaware does not require all applicants to provide official proof of age. So that's a 3. Florida is a 3. Georgia is a 4. So we know where all the tough laws are. Hey, Hawaii, it's a 2. Again, that's 15. Children under 15 are not permitted to enter marriage under any circumstances. Idaho bore the second highest per capita rate of child marriage in the nation. Idaho law permits minors aged 16 to 18 to marry if there is less than a 3-year difference between the minor and the intended spouse. All minors are required to obtain parental consent and both parties must provide official proof of age. Illinois, parental consent. There are laws requires all marriage applicants to present satisfactory proof of age before they can obtain a marriage license. That's a 4. Indiana is a 4. Iowa is a 2. Kansas is a 2. So you can see there are some laws that are tough. So remember, 4 is meaning that it's tough. Maine a 2. Maryland, Massachusetts. So here we go. Minnesota. Effective August 2020, Minnesota became one of the few states that prohibits marriage for persons under the age of 18 without exception. Minnesota's marriage law also requires official proof of age for a marriage certificate. So it's a 5. So it's got the best laws. 3, Missouri 4, Nebraska. So we'll keep going down. So as I said, I'll post the link for this and you can actually peruse it. But it is dependent state by state by the looks of it. Definitely state by state. Oh, that's the one I had. Let me just put this in here. Copy. You can have a look at it. I wanted to look at Utah. Is that going to work? Yeah. There we go. I want to look at Utah actually to see what Utah was. So yeah, there's the there is the report. Oh, it's gone twice. I won't be on for much longer, by the way. I've been on for an hour. I've got to finish off my baskets, my Easter baskets. So it's nearly 11 o'clock, so I need to get moving on that. But my point is that I don't know if it doesn't seem to necessarily be on religious lines, by the way, from what I can see. Or is it? Oh, and then we've got international ones. And, see, marriage in Australia is a federal jurisdiction, so that it's done by the federal government. So states have to adhere by the federal government's legislations. So Utah bolstered its marriage laws and prohibited persons younger than 16 from getting married. Additionally, the law provides that 16 and 17-year-olds may marry after submitting official proof of age, receiving consent from one parent, and obtaining authorization from a juvenile court. Prior to authorizing a marriage involving the minor, the judge must determine that the minor is entering the marriage voluntarily and that the marriage is in the minor's best interest. The judge must also require parties to attend premarital counselling and is prohibited from authorizing the marriage if the age difference between the parties is more than 7 years. Aside from minors, Utah does not require marriage applicants to provide official proof of age. Between 2000 and 2018, Utah ranked 7th highest. So it's not the highest. Pennsylvania, yeah, let's have a look. Pennsylvania 2020 amended its marriage laws to prohibit marriage for persons under the age of 18 without exception. When it did so, it became the 3rd state of the nation to ban child marriage. Nevertheless, Pennsylvania does not require applicants to provide proof of age, so they've ranked it a 3. So I'm just trying to find out who had the highest. So it's not Utah. Isn't it Puerto Rico? So 50 state laws and territories. So the worst, no minimum age requirement, must. So there's so here is the worst. You've got on the left, must be at least 14, 15, or 16 in the middle. Florida. I thought I did Florida. Let's have a look. I figured I'd be here all day if I did them all. So I skipped a few. Let's go back to Florida. At least it's in alphabetical order. Yep. Prohibited marriage against children under the age of 17. The law permits 17-year-olds to marry with parental consent as long as the age difference between the intended spouse is 2 years or less. Well, the law does not require parties to provide official proof of age or residency. It resulted in lowering the total number of child marriages in the state. Between July and December of 2017, there were 125 child marriages. Between the same period in 2018, after the change in law, there were only 48 child marriages. So maybe I didn't. So yeah, so then they've put them all on a scale, on a graph here. So you've got the worst, must be at least 14 and 15, must be at least 17, 18, must at least be 6, and then 5 there. And it says, While many people cling to the flawed assumption that child marriage is not an American issue, children are married every day in the United States. And then here's all the sources here. So you'll see that, for example, for Puerto Rico here, and it's got tab 270. So if you come down to and you find 270, you'll find the source that they got it from. So, for example, where that information came from. So all the stuff's here. Yeah, a lot of laws do need to change. But yes, I posted that there for you to have a look. So it's I'd be interested to see whether it's a religious there's religious lines. Oh, really? They have the Mississippi? Ah. Wow. Yeah, I think Mississippi had one of the worst ones, I thought. Let's go back to Mississippi. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. I think where the court has to take into consideration the child's needs and wants, I think is good. So apparently they amended their laws in 2021, Mississippi. Let's have a look again. We'll pull that up. So this was a 2021 report on child marriage. It was actually published in 2022. So it's the most recent I can find. But the new law still allows children to marry. Mississippi considers males who are at least 17 years old and females who are at least 15 years old as capable in law of contracting marriage. Prior to being issued a marriage license, these minors and all persons under the age of 21 must provide proof of parental consent. So 21, under 21, you need parental consent. However, children under the ages of 17 for males and 15 for females may also marry if they obtain both parental and judicial consent, or all persons in Mississippi must furnish official proof of their age to obtaining marriage license. The other legal loopholes effectively lowers the minimum age for marriage to 0 in Mississippi. There you go. So that would be why they have probably the worst teen pregnancies, because 15 for girls. It's pretty scary, isn't it? So, and then this is another one. Nearly 300,000 minors were married. With girls were legally married. Yeah, according to so everyone's referring to that 2021 report that from Child USA. Everyone's referring to that. So wow. 6 cases of 12-year-olds. Doesn't that make you sick? In the US, 200,000 minors have married between 2000 and 2000. Of this 200,000 marriages, 67% were children were 17, 29% were 16, 4% of the children were 15, less than 1% of the children were 14 or under, and there were 51 cases of 13-year-olds getting married and 6 cases of 12-year-olds. Cannot believe it. Child marriage is more common in the southern United States, West Virginia, Florida, Texas, Tennessee, Arkansas, and North Carolina. California, and Nevada have the highest incidence of child marriage. And here's some of the things that make you sick. In 2010, in Idaho, a 65-year-old man married a 17-year-old. Alabama, a 74-year-old man married a 14-year-old. 3 10-year-old girls were married to men aged 24, 25, 31. The youngest boy to marry was an 11-year-old who married a 27-year-old woman in 2006. Makes you sick, doesn't it? Absolutely makes you sick. And then minimum ages here. Again, 16 minimum ages. Yeah, see, and then you've got states that have no limits to age. Washington has no state age limit, so that you could essentially marry off someone 15, 16, 17, 18. Pretty worrying, isn't it? I'll also put this one in here for you as well, so you can look at that. It makes you sick. So it does look like it's the southern states, which are probably the religious states. But I don't like it. I mean, we have an age of consent, but we still have to be married. Let me just have a look. I'm probably going to be sickened because I'm just going to do the same thing for Australia. And then we'll leave it there. We just got onto a... All right. It's illegal. You have to be at least 16. There's a fact sheet called Forced Marriage in Australia. Two minors cannot get married to each other. Well, that's right. What? I know, it really makes you sick, doesn't it? So this is a forced marriage fact sheet done by the Australian government. So let's have a look at this that we've got here. Let's see if I can make it a bit bigger. All right. So in Australia, the marriageable age is 18. It is illegal in Australia law for any person under the age of 16 and 2 people under the age of 18 to marry. Okay? So this is just a fact sheet. So Australia law. So we have a federal law. As I said, the federal government makes the law. So you can't have 2 people under the age of 18 marry, and you can't be under the age of 16. Now, you know how our friendly YouTuber likes to talk about, forced marriage and everything. Well, according to the Australian government, a forced marriage and a arranged marriage are different. Arranged marriages are legal in Australia because they're not forced to marry. Now, so the Australian Parliament has criminalised forced marriage in Australia, with offenders including parents and marriage celebrants facing up to 9 years in prison or up to 25 years in prison if a child is taken overseas. So there's the penalties. So it is also, so under the Marriage Act, it is also an offence for a person to solemnise or purport to solemnise a marriage if a person has reason to believe that one or both of the parties are not of marriageable age. So as I said, you actually have to show ID. So there was between 2013 and 2016, there was 138 referrals for suspected forced marriage. So interesting. This is an old fact sheet, but that just wanted to show you that the Australian law. So you can't have two minors marry, essentially, at all. So anyway, based on that, but yes, it's just something that's very prevalent. But it'd be very, very interesting to see how many. Yeah, I'll have to do more research into that. So I'm going to also put in the human trafficking report here, because she keeps talking about human trafficking. That's a report on by the United Nations on human trafficking. So it'll be very interesting. But yes, look at all of those. Minors shouldn't be getting. No, I don't think they should be getting married in the first place. No. And we're in a different time again, because once upon a time, if you got pregnant, you had to get married, and that's why they brought in the laws about getting married with parental permission, because parents would want their kids married to have children. But now that, wedlock is not a requirement anymore, it's it doesn't need to be. Oh, just before I go, this is the so this is from that report. This is on the North America. This is from the UN, the Traffic Global Report. And so this is the US, so this is North America. Persons convicted under all trafficking offences in the US. Look at that, between 747, 96, 2006, 118, 89. Persons charged under trafficking offences. Correct. Yep. It needs to be changed all over the world. So the certified victims came from Latin America, Caribbean, Africa, Asia, Europe, Pacific Islands. Wow. So that's from the United States, where they all came from. So apparently they do provide, states provides legal protection and temporary stay permits for trafficking victims at the moment. So what I'll also do while I'm here is I'll just look at Australia. Oh, laws need to be changed all over the world. You're right. We're usually Asia, Middle and North. I think we're the Pacific. When you start looking at it, though, it's it is actually quite scary how prevalent it all is. But but it's still not a term that can be bandied round, and you just can't accuse everybody of doing it, in my opinion, without proof. Okay, so here's Australia. So men and women. Persons placed on the government victim support. Yes. Yes, 18. So in Australia, 18, you can marry, you can drink alcohol. Some states you can drive a car. So my state, you have to be 18 to get your license, and you can vote. And so all of ours, a lot of ours come from Thailand and Asia. A lot of our victims. But some states you can drive at 17. But yeah, but 18. But 18 is, yeah, you can drink alcohol. You can vote. Voting's because voting's compulsory here. So when you turn 18, you get to vote. So that's a big thing. And so yeah, technically you can marry. And technically generally you finishing you're just about to finish secondary school. You're schooling and ready to go into university. Anyway, I have to go. I've got some more. I've got to finish off my baskets for my students. So there's like an egg inside. So like that. So yeah, I'm hand making them about halfway. So I've got to keep going. They're going to be done by tomorrow. So I need to keep moving. Thank you for watching. I will catch you again next time. Hopefully over the weekend I'll stop in and we will talk some more. And I will catch you again later. If you haven't done already, could you please hit like and subscribe? And I'd like to get to 3,500 by the end of April. I'd like to get to about 5 by the end of the year, if possible. But yeah, if you could help me out, that would be great. And I will catch you later. All right, bye for now.